By far, the biggest comment I receive the most often is, "Wow, you're so productive. I don't know how you do it all." And while I'm the first to admit I don't do it all, I also am the first to admit that routines and structure help me tremendously. And so I thought at the start of this new year, I would share 4 routines that save my motherhood, that help me to be more productive, to help me get forward in every area of life. And they're very simple things that you could start today. Glue. It's messy, it's sticky, it gets everywhere, but it's also really useful. Just like the glue that we need to put together the pieces of our life as busy working moms. We have after-school activities, we have homework, we have cleaning, we have laundry, and, we want to spend time with our kids as well in the process and maybe even have some time for ourselves. This podcast is for the busy moms out there who are balancing work, life, and everything in between, and we all know that in between encompasses a lot of things. If you're a mom who wants to do the best in all areas of life but still have time for yourself, this podcast is for you. I love to interview other moms and find out what works for them, get ideas from them, get inspired by them, and learn, we're all in this together. But I also like to share my own tips, tricks, struggles, triumphs, and share it all with you. So grab a load of laundry, lock yourself in the bathroom, go for a walk, do whatever you got to do. But I am just so glad you're here. Hey, glue sticks. I hope your year is off to an awesome start. I know it's been a crazy year. There's already stuff going on the start of the year with stimulus checks and politics and runoff elections, and it's going to be a doozy of a year, but I'm praying that it will be much better than last year. And whether it is globally a better year or not, we can make it a better year in our homes by setting ourselves up for success. I am all about making little improvements that will make a huge lasting change in your home. I love to make progress. I love to see what works and what doesn't work. And I have really fine-tuned 4 different routines that have really, really helped me in my motherhood. I didn't set out to, look for the number 4 and figure that out, but I was just really reflecting on routines that I have that help me that I think could help you as well. And these are the 4 that I came up with that I was like, these are the 4 that really, really help me in all areas of my life. By making sure these 4 things happen on a daily or weekly basis, it really sets up the rest of my day, the rest of my week and month up for success. Personally, with my family, with my home, decluttering, keeping it organized and tidy, in my business, making sure I'm making progress there, with friendships and, everything. When these 4 things are running on autopilot, I am better off because of it. And then I will be doing, I'm sure, lots and lots of episodes on routines, because I feel like when something can become a routine, you don't have to work at it anymore, and it just becomes routine. It just becomes autopilot. It becomes natural. It's something you don't have to think about, so you can put more brain power towards the things that you want to improve, that you want to work at, that you want to make better in some way, and spend less time, doing the mundane things, make them into a routine. So I'm going to be sharing 4 of these routines that I do that I think you guys could implement and really start off your year right by making these changes. It doesn't require a drastic change to make improvement in your life. Just change these little things and you'll be setting yourself up for success. So the first 2 routines I'm going to talk about are everyday routines, and the other 2 routines I'm going to talk about are weekly routines that I do once a week, every week. So the very first one I actually talked about in my top 10 things I learned and loved from 2020, and I will link that episode in the show notes. But I have a routine now that I've really gotten down to a science, and that is my getting ready routine in the morning. I can go from hot mess express to, decently put together, ready for pretty much anything that could come my way in about 20-25 minutes if I'm not being interrupted. And I feel really good about this routine, and I love how it makes me feel. Now, everybody has a different level of how done up they want to be on a daily basis. Most of us are, living in a different time than we were even a year ago. I don't leave my house very often, but for me, and no judgment if you're different, I like to be put together, even if I'm not leaving the house. For me, I like to show my girls that it's important to take care of ourselves. I like to look good for myself. I just feel better about myself if I have a little bit of makeup on, if I'm in decent clothes, if I actually took time to get ready, put a little bit of makeup on, put some deodorant on, brush my teeth, all those kinds of things. Hopefully you're all at least brushing your teeth. But I just feel better about myself when I walk past a mirror, if I have to run outside to get the mail and I end up seeing somebody or whatever, or if I decide to run somewhere that day. I feel better about myself if I, have a little bit of makeup on. Now for you, you may feel totally confident, fresh face. That's totally fine. I just encourage you to have a routine to feel as good as you can without going overboard in like 20 minutes. What can you do? How can you refine your routine? How can you change it up so that either you take a little more time to feel better about yourself if you're feeling really frumpy, or to take less time to make it more streamlined so it's very easy to do, so you can do it every single day if you choose to. So for me, I'm just going to kind of walk you guys through what that looks like for me. I go upstairs at 5:40 if I am, getting up early, which I usually do most days. And I will I'll brush my teeth, floss, and then I put on moisturizer, I put on foundation, I put a little setting powder on, a little blush. All of that, takes just a couple minutes. And then I also will curl my eyelashes. I usually put fake eyelashes on, or I do ones that I can wear for a few days. And I have just found, and I talked about this in that previous episode, like I mentioned, for me, this helps me feel my best. I just noticed I was getting so mad every time I'd put mascara on. My eyelashes would fall out. They'd look a hot mess. And I would just start thinking negative thoughts about myself. Like, oh, I hate these lashes. So ugly. And, all these things that are not positive ways to start your day. And so I decided to do something about it and find a way to make this not only quick and easy, but to make me feel better about myself. So now when I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, my lashes look so pretty. And they're very simple. It takes me about a minute to do total. Then I throw some mascara over the top, depending on what kind I'm wearing. It just makes them look more natural. And then some eyeliner, a little bit of eyebrow pencil, and I'm good to go. And this takes me about 20-25 minutes. Also, my hair, I do a very simple hairstyle that looks great on me. I think it makes me feel good. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes, and it's working with my hair. I used to straighten my hair every day, and I actually used to shower every morning, which took so much extra time, and then I'd have to blow dry my hair and do the whole ordeal. Now I shower at night, which saves so much time because my hair can air dry overnight, and I don't wash my hair every single day because that's not good for it, and it just helps my hairstyles last longer, and it makes my hair a lot healthier. Not only was it bad for my hair to be washing it every day, and straightening it every day, but it just was working against my natural hair, and so it took a lot longer. So if you can find a way to love and use what you have and work with it instead of against it, it should save you a lot of time. So if you are a curly-haired person, takes a lot less time to work with your curly hair, maybe even just air dry it or, diffuse it while you're blow drying it or whatever. Just work with it and it will take a lot less time. If you have naturally straight hair, it's probably a lot easier to just work with that hairstyle than to try to curl it if it's not going to stay in and that kind of thing. So I just do a half up little bun and then I curl the bottom. Takes 2 to 3 minutes, stays in most of the day, and I feel good about myself. I am sharing this to encourage you to find a quick and easy morning routine for getting ready that doesn't take you a lot of time, but makes you feel really good about yourself. So this is not my routine, like if I were going on a really hot date or something, if that ever happens again. Or if, I'm going to a wedding or something, I'd spend a little bit more time. I'd do a different hairstyle or whatever. But for just the day-to-day, I feel really good about myself, whether I'm on social media, making a video, if I'm running to the store, if I'm just staying home. Like I just feel put together enough without going overboard, and it only takes me 20 minutes. So I would highly encourage you to have some kind of getting ready routine that you can do whenever you want, be it every day. If you make it a routine and you just do it every day, you don't have to think about it, which is really nice. But it really helps you to get out of the rut if you are feeling really frumpy and just like not unmotivated. Try getting yourself ready and see what that does for you. My second routine is my after dinner reset. Now, I don't do like no clutter anywhere all the time. I wish I could, but I just find with 3 little kids and a husband, it never stays like that. So having an after dinner reset routine really helps. And I didn't even really think that this was a routine until I started hearing people talking about how they don't do their dishes every day. I didn't even honestly realize that was a thing. It's just become just part of what we do that I never really realized that you could put off doing the dishes. Like it's just not something I do. And maybe you guys are the same way and you just do your dishes every day and you don't really think about it. But I know there are some people who kind of let stuff build up and then tackle it all at once. I would encourage you to just stay on top of stuff, make it a routine so you don't even have to think about it. So it's never like weighing you down like, oh, I got to declutter the kitchen or I have to tidy up the counters or I have to do the dishes because I haven't done them for a couple days. If you stay on top of it, then it never becomes a burden. So for me, what the after dinner routine, like reset routine looks like, whoever made dinner in our house will kind of watch the kids while the other person does the reset. Typically, my husband cooks, so I clean up. So I will, clear all the plates and stuff. The girls also help. Of course, we're teaching them to help as well, and that family works together. And then we will put everything in the dishwasher. I'll hand wash any dishes that need to be hand washed. We just let them air dry. If you want to actually dry them and put them away, more power to you. We don't really care if there's some dishes sitting out drying. And then I will clean off the counters, clean off the table. I don't do like a full counter clean where I take everything off, but I will clean, any part that we were using, the stove, and any crumbs I will catch. And then I use our sweeper vac. It's a Shark version. I go over all the floors with that. It's amazing. It can even pick up cottage cheese. Who knew? I will link that in the show notes if you guys are interested. It's just really quick and easy, a lot easier than sweeping, and it picks up pretty much everything. It does a really good job. And then I will do a couple things that just take it a step further. One is I try to find the dumping ground that is right next to our stove in our kitchen. And I'm sure your kitchen has some kind of dumping zone. I've tried everything and it still happens. Like the kids will hand me something or my husband will come home and he'll drop stuff here. So I will try to take that dumping zone and I will try to put anything back wherever it needs to go in the house. If it's toys, we'll put those away. If it's receipts, make sure they go like in my Sunday basket. Planners, I'll kind of stack up and put them either by my desk or just leave them there. And I just try to make sure that everything that doesn't belong in the kitchen goes back to where it belongs. And then I also set our coffee pot for the next day. So we'll fill it up. We will fill up the grounds, fill it up with water, and then set it. I set it for like 3:45 the next day because I get up at 4. That way my coffee is ready. And I love this because it helps me get up the next morning. Knowing my coffee is ready and I don't have to make it just makes me roll out of bed. It's just that one thing that really helps me the next day. So I do that and just make sure everything's reset. Sometimes I will also set out a strew for my girls. So basically a strew is where you just set out toys or an activity or open-ended items for your child or children in a way that kind of invites them to play. So let's say you set out a puzzle, you would kind of set up a couple of the pieces, but then leave the rest. So it's kind of like an invitation, like, oh, there's a couple pieces. I'm eager to finish it. So then they'll, be invited to just go over and play without any enticing. So I will sometimes set out a strew as well. Like if I know it's going to be a hectic morning and I'm on my own, I definitely will set out a strew so that, if I'm dealing with the baby or whatever, my 2 older girls can go start something without like getting into everything and driving me crazy, quite honestly. So that is something else that I will do at night. So just having some kind of routine you do every single night to kind of get your house back in order, to do something to start your next day off on the right foot is a really, really good thing to get into the habit of. So I just encourage you to take a minute after listening to this or pause this episode and think, what could I do every night to set myself up for success in the morning? If I'm wanting to get up early, what could I do now at night to make that easier for myself. Do I need to set out my clothes? Do I need to have the coffee pot going? Do I need to prep breakfast? Do I need to have my workout gear ready? What is it that I need to do to set myself up for success? And what areas of my home drive me crazy when I see them in the morning? How could I make those tidier at night so that I'm not already burdened when I wake up? Because I think that's the worst feeling to feel right when you wake up is burdened. That's why I wake up before my kids, quite honestly, because if I wake up to my kids, I just feel already like I'm in mom mode. I'm needed. Have people that are super dependent on me and I'm, just pulled in a million directions. So for me, I like to get up early so I don't feel that way. And I also do the same thing with my house. How can I get my house ready for the next day? Do I do this perfectly every day? Absolutely not. But I would encourage you to find those things that are burdening you in the morning and make a plan to do something every night to take that burden away from yourself in the morning. And you will thank yourself the next day. I promise. The next two routines are things that I do usually every Sunday, but I am counting them as two different routines. The third one that I'm going to talk about right now, I also mentioned in my top 10 for 2020 episode last week, but I'm going to talk about it in a little bit more detail here just so that maybe you guys can take a little bit more out of it or find a way for it to work for you. And that is having a weekly planning session with my husband. Now, you may throw in budgeting, you may throw in like a whole family meeting, do what you got to do to set your whole family up for success for the next week. My kids are really young, so they don't have like a planner and they don't know what's going on really day to day. So they are not included in this conversation, but there will probably come a day where I will need to know what they have planned for the week and talk it over as a family. So if you have older children or children involved in a lot, maybe you want them in on this conversation too, or you'll talk with your spouse first and then bring them in. Do what works for you. This is all about customizing it to fit your life. I'm just sharing what works for me, hoping that it can help you guys in some way. So for us, we usually come prepared with our planners already filled out because that works for us. My husband, his stuff doesn't really affect my stuff and my stuff doesn't really affect his stuff too much. So we can do it that way. But if you have a lot of things that need to be done together or you need to figure out the time frame for certain things that needs both of your input, then definitely wait on planning till you're together. So what I do, I fill out my planner for the week. I set up, what activities we have that are pretty much constant. If we have already planned we're going somewhere a certain time, which is very rare these days, I will have that filled in. I have filled in like my work schedule for when I'm recording episodes and filming videos and social media and all that stuff I'll have mapped out usually early in the mornings or during nap times. And then, anything else that really affects me, I will have written out. My husband will have written out his work schedule when he plans to work out every day because his schedule is different. So he will either work out really early in the morning or he will work out after he comes home, which is usually around like 3:00 if he's working super early and doesn't have time to work out before he goes to work. And then he also is running a cookie business on the side. So he'll kind of have mapped out where, what cookies he's making what days and the different steps and when people are picking up and all of that kind of stuff. And then we will come together. So we already have planned out everything when we get together. So it really doesn't take a whole lot of time, but it just saves us so much marital everything, like everything negative about a marriage, like it's helps with it because that was a huge stressor in our marriage was just feeling like I was carrying a huge load and like he wasn't understanding or he wasn't really helping, but how could he help when he didn't know what was going on? It goes both ways. And so by having this conversation, we just walk through like Monday, what's happening Monday? What do you need from me? What do I need from you? And we just work out any kinks ahead of time. I will bring up things that maybe he didn't think about, and he will ask me about certain things that maybe I didn't think about telling him. And we just add those to our own planners so we know what's going on. This has worked miracles for our marriage to know exactly what's going on when. And I know moving forward, whenever life kind of gets back to the pace it was before the pandemic, it'll be even better for our marriage because his schedule is crazy. And as the one who's home all the time, it just will really help me to know what he has planned, when he's fitting certain things in, and that kind of thing. So I highly encourage you to have a meeting with your spouse or partner or whoever every single week, whenever it works for you. It doesn't have to be Sunday. Sit down, talk about it. You may also add in a budget meeting or any other topics that are really important for you guys to talk about. Customize it to work for you, but really just think about what could we talk about every week that would make our marriage, our relationship better, stronger, less argumentative, less resentful. What could we do every week to move toward a more peaceful existence together? And then lastly, my Sunday routines are, I'm just counting as one routine, are really what stabilizes my whole week, makes it easy to do the things I need to do because I am prepared for the week. Now, if you watch me on YouTube and you see my weekly prep videos, you probably already know a lot of what this entails. But if not, or if you just want like a quick refresher, here's what I do every Sunday, most Sundays. I'm not a robot. I say that all the time, but I try to do these every single Sunday. And when I do, I feel better about the week. So I try to clean, but I'm not including that. So I try to just fit that in whenever it makes sense to fit it in. But, I try to do a little bit of cleaning here and there every single day. But the main things that I do every Sunday that really help with our family doing well for the week are changing out the bedding and kind of tidying up the kids' rooms and picking out their clothes. So I will go in, I try to do their laundry so it's all fresh and clean by Sunday, and I will pick out their clothes for the week. I will have them help if they are, opinionated about it. And then I will have them help, or I will just do it depending on how I'm feeling. I will just tidy up their rooms, make sure there's no clutter, extra garbage, what have you in their rooms, get the floors cleaned up. I often will vacuum on Sundays too. It's just a good time to do that. And then I will strip their beds, change out their bedding, get that thrown in the wash. And that way they're starting their week with clothes all picked out and clean bedding. And I will do our bed as well. So that's ready. I don't pick out my clothes for the week, but I just find with my girls, picking out their clothes for the week has saved so many arguments. I have very opinionated children, and so picking them out ahead of time means we're not fighting about it every morning. Do we still have a little squabble here and there throughout the week? Yes. But it just can really help to just grab it, start putting it on them without them even noticing, or my 5-year-old will just grab it and start putting it on. She doesn't really think about it. It just really has saved a lot of headaches in the morning for us. And then also we will do things like meal prep. I will try to prep or have my husband prep any meats for the week, or we will prep any like cut up vegetables for different recipes just to make our weeknights go smoother with suppers. It helps us eat healthier. It helps us eat more homemade meals, and it just helps it go by more quickly when we do go to cook so that we're not spending a super long time in the kitchen every night. I sometimes will even prep lunches. We used to do that a lot, and we still will once in a while if we're feeling up to it. I will prep meat for my salads for the week sometimes. Just really depends on what we have planned, but it's just a great thing to do on Sundays or, whenever. But for us, it just works the best on Sundays. I also try to do my Sunday basket, which if you don't know what a Sunday basket is, if you will follow, I will link to her below. It's Lisa from Organized 365. I've been following her for a long time, and I've implemented her Sunday basket quite a few years ago. Am I perfect about doing it every Sunday? No, but it's the goal to do it every Sunday. And this just really helps me stay on top of any paper clutter, bills, mail coming in, that kind of thing. I don't pay bills on Sundays. For me, I pay them on Friday, but you may also pay bills on Sundays just to get that done for the week. And then I also do my curriculum prep on Sundays. So for me, that's for my 3-year-old. If I am doing that, it just depends with the pandemic and distance learning. I've kind of taken a little bit of a break from that. But, when my 5-year-old is back in school, we will be doing preschool every week. And so I will do my curriculum prep on Sundays if I didn't get to it during the week, which I often don't just because it's very busy. And then I also will take time, once a play plan to go to the library to get more books and just think about, what things could kind of get moved around or switched out to make our days and weeks run a little bit more smoothly. So I just love having these things that I do every Sunday. I don't have to think about them anymore. It's just built into my day. So I don't, procrastinate on it. I don't look at it with like, oh, I don't want to do that kind of mentality. I just do it because it's part of my Sunday routine. And so I'd highly encourage you to have some kind of routine on Sunday. It doesn't have to be the same as mine, but something you do every Sunday or a few things you do every Sunday to help you start your week off strong. Because this whole episode was basically different survival tips, this time I am just going to share a Mama Seal of Approval item that I want to talk about. And I also am planning to post a lot more of Mama Seal of Approval products and apps and different things on my Instagram. So please make sure you're following me at Sarah WLG. That's SARAHWLG. I will have a lot more content very similar to what I talk about on the podcast on YouTube, but in smaller bite-sized forms. And it might be a lot of things you're not seeing anywhere else from me. So make sure you're following me there. And I love to do Instagram stories as well to kind of, give you guys motivation, funny tips, funny stories, and just little glimpses into our family and what I have going on over there as well. So my item that receives the Mama Seal of Approval this week, if you follow me on YouTube, you've seen this a ton, but I absolutely love our clothes organizer. So this goes along with my Sunday routine to pick out my kids' clothes. I have a weekly organizer that has Monday through Sunday in it. It's a hanging organizer, just like you can buy at, Target. But what's nice about this is it's actually labeled Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way down to Sunday. There is a space for each day of the week, and you can fit a good amount of size of clothes in there. So if you have older children, you could definitely fit their clothes in there. For me, I fit both my older two girls' outfits for each day in there. And then there are a few side pockets as well. So like if you have dance, you could put your uniform or whatever sport it is. Or if you have, a uniform, but then they come home and change, you could put those in the side pockets if you wanted. Or accessories or underwear or socks or whatever you could put in the side pockets. I love having this because it just really sets my kids up for success. It helps them to be more self-sufficient. So if you want to pick out clothes for the week, but your kid is very, opinionated and wants a say, then have them join in on the weekly planning session for their clothes. You'll have them pick it out, put it in each day of the week. You pick out underwear, pick out socks, pick out hair accessories. If you want, you can do everything. And then that day comes and they can just get it out and put it on. You don't have to have a fight. You've already agreed to what they're wearing. They don't have to sit there trying on a bazillion different outfits. You may still have that issue with older children. It just depends. But it really can help save your mornings. And I am all about choosing my battles and trying to be more preventative and proactive about eliminating fights with my kids, allowing them to be successful and independent and self-sufficient. And this tool definitely works. So I will link to it in the show notes. It's very affordable. I found it on Amazon, and there's different ones with different colors depending on the age of your child. But you could also just have them like hang up different outfits for each day or get little hanging clothes rod labels like for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on that you put on their clothes rod. You could have a drawer for it. You could hang it on the back of their door. You could even do it every night instead of once for the whole week. You could have them pick it out and have that part of your nightly routine. The sky is the limit, but I just think clothes are such, it's a big deal, honestly, because you have to wear clothes every day. But we want to make it into something that's just part of our day, not something we fight about, not a big deal really in the whole scope of the day, which, sometimes, especially with little kids who have strong opinions, it can kind of throw your whole day off at the start if they're fighting you about clothes. So I just encourage you, have a plan for picking out clothes. If you need to, if what you're doing is working great, then definitely don't change it. But this is just an idea for you guys. I hope hearing these 4 routines that I do every day and every week has helped you in some way, helped you maybe think about your own routines or maybe starting routines if you don't have some like these already. And I would love to know a routine that you do on a regular basis that makes your life a little bit easier, that might help other people's lives. If you head over to my Facebook group, it's called the Work Life Glue Moms Facebook group. I will have the link in the show notes, and you can join and find the post for this episode and comment there. I just want to keep the conversation going. I really see this podcast as a community-based podcast. It's not just all about me. I have interviews with other moms. I have plans for making it more collaborative in the future. As always, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful week. I will be back again this week for another episode, so stay tuned for that. And also, you can follow me over on YouTube and Instagram as well. Just search Work Life Glue and I should come up. So have a wonderful day. Go love on your kids, go get something done, and go live your dreams. I'll talk to you soon.